There are those of us who are too afraid to express our boundaries because we don't want to be seen as sensitive or difficult. So we tolerate mistreatment, compromise our limits, and eventually grow resentful of our friends because of our tendency to over-accommodate. And then there are those of us who overcorrect, using boundaries to govern others' behavior and lay down the law. So we make demands about where they can go and what they can do. But boundaries are all about the limitations that we set for our own behavior. A boundary is a line that sets a limit. And we can't have healthy relationships if we're overextending ourselves beyond the limits of what makes us feel safe. And while we might know this intellectually to be true, sometimes it can be hard to navigate in real life. So the next time you're feeling a pinch from a friend, try offering what I call affirmative boundaries, which is a way to express your limitations while also showing a desire to maintain your connection. So let's say you have a friend who is constantly venting to you about the same problem, and despite initial attempts to help, you are now finding that it's sapping your energy. You might say something like, "This issue has been going on for so long and it makes me sad to see you this down. I'm not going to be able to help you with this one, but I am happy to help you brainstorm some people who could offer better support." This is a clear way of expressing to your friend exactly what you can help her with, setting a healthy boundary. Let's say you have a friend who continually calls and texts throughout the day. And while you're flattered that they think of you, you're also really overwhelmed. You might try something like, "I appreciate you checking on me throughout the day. I tend to prefer weekly check-ins though, because it helps me to manage my focus. Let me know if you're open to doing that check-in on Fridays or Saturdays. Which day works best for you?" Each of these examples works to paint a picture of how to set a clear boundary without making harsh or rigid rules around what they ought to do, and instead focuses on what we're willing to give. Good boundaries are clear and consistent, and the right friends will see that as the data that they need to know how to love you well. Now, if despite your best efforts, your friend continues to disrespect a boundary, you might have to consider ending that relationship. Other reasons to end a friendship include there being an ongoing lack of trust, being with anybody who's trying to sabotage your success, and any friendship where you don't like who you are or how you feel when you're together. Ending any relationship is often inherently uncomfortable, but it's worth the short-term discomfort for the peace that awaits future you on the other side. Now, when you have this conversation, be warm and compassionate, but direct, and try your best to focus on what it is that you want instead of highlighting their inadequacy. So you might try saying something like, "I've been thinking a lot about our friendship lately, and I've been trying really hard to express what I need and how I feel. I care about you so much, and I also need to be in spaces where I feel more safe to be myself. And that means I'm not going to be able to stay in this friendship, and I hope you can understand." At the end of the day, we can care about somebody and still decide that the friendship is not a good fit. But finding the courage to compassionately end these kind of relationships helps us to make space that invites new connections where we feel a little more safe and seen.